Hello, I'm Michelle from Ascent Bath & Body, here in collaboration with Cosy Owl, and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to learn how to make a shampoo bar. Now if you've always wanted to have a go at making your own shampoo bars, then this is going to be the video for you. We're going to use a pre-manufactured base, so it's going to be suitable for beginners and means you don't have to come up with your own recipe. To the base we're going to add some shea butter, which is great for hair, and we're also, instead of using fragrance oils, we're going to use essential oil in this one, and we're going to use lavender essential oil, which is also great for your scalp and your hair. And we're going to colour this bar. We're going to use a purple coloured mica, so we get a lovely soft lilac colour to match the lavender fragrance. So let's get going. Okay, so here is everything we need to make our shampoo bars. First of all, we have the shampoo base, and it comes in these 1 kilogram tubs. Then we have our mould. I have my rubber spatula for stirring, my sharp knife for cutting, and my chopping board. I'm going to add shea butter into this recipe, as shea butter is really great for hair. I'm going to colour these bars ever so slightly with some magic violet mica from Cosy Owl. I have my bottle of rubbing alcohol, which is going to be used to spray any bubbles away. For the fragrance in this, we're going to use lavender essential oil from Cosy Owl, as lavender is really great for hair too, and really great for your scalp as it's antimicrobial. I have my 2 sets of scales, my table scales to cut down my soap base and my shea butter, and my jewellery scale to measure out my mica. I have my infrared thermometer, my melting pot, my little glass beaker and stirring stick for mixing my mica, and then I have my double boiler, which is my hob, and my pan of boiling water where I'll put the jug into to melt the base down. So the first thing I've done is remove the base from the tub, and I've cut it in half, which has given us 500 grams, which should be about the right amount for the size of the mould that we've got. So I'm going to chop this down into smallish cubes. If you do that, it's much easier to melt down. It melts down much quicker, and it melts down much more evenly as well. So I'm just going to put this straight into the jug. And then next thing I'm going to do is to add my shea butter. Now shea butter is really great for hair. It's particularly great for curly and dry hair, as it adds quite a lot of moisture in, and it also creates a nice moisture barrier as well. So it's a really good recipe, a really good ingredient to add to any recipe for a hair product. So I'm going to add at a rate of 1%, so I'm looking for about 5 grams. So I've got 5 there, so that's gone straight into the jug. And now I'm going to put the jug into my double boiler so I can melt everything down. Now I've got my double boiler on a low to medium heat. I don't want it on too high, as it will melt the base far too quickly and we might be in danger of scorching it. But you don't want it on too low, as it takes a really long time to melt down. So as you can see, it's melting down quite nicely, and it's probably going to take about 5 to 7 minutes to melt down completely. So I'm just going to come in and give it a quick stir every so often. Don't be tempted to stir it too often, that will introduce too many bubbles. So while we're waiting for the base, I'm going to mix up my my colour for the shampoo bar. We're going to use a mica powder. Because we're adding it into a white base, I'm hoping it's going to give us a nice soft lilac colour. So it's magic violet mica powder that I'm using from Cosy Owl, and it's really handy to measure small amounts of product on a set of jewellery scales, as they normally weigh amounts under a gram. So I don't want to put a lot in. I think half a gram will be absolutely fine to give us a nice soft lilac colour. So 0.5 of a gram I'm going to measure out here. And these lolly sticks are really handy for scooping mica out of the little bags and measuring out. Okay, so I've got 0.5 there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to make a little paste. And to do that, I take my rubbing alcohol and I just put a couple of squirts in, just enough to create a paste, and then mix it around really well with the stick, and then that can go straight into the base. You can add your mica straight in as it is to the base. You will sometimes find that it does leave some flecks though, so I like to make a paste first. So I'm now going to take the base out of the water and give it a good stir and check whether there's any lumps left. All looks like it's pretty much melted down, so I'm just going to check the temperature. Okay, I'm on 68 at the moment. That's a fine temperature to have heated it to, but it's a bit hot to add any essential oil to at the moment, so I'm just going to keep stirring it for a couple of minutes just to try and bring that temperature down slightly. Okay, so we should be about there, I think. We should be ready to add the mica in. It doesn't have to be cooled down to 60 to put your mica in. You can put that in when it's a little bit hotter. So I'm going to tip this into the jug and give it another good stir. And as you can see, because we've added the mica to a white base, we've got a nice soft lilac colour, which is going to work really well with the lavender essential oil. So I'm just giving it a really good stir again, just to check that that colour is even throughout the whole of the base. Don't forget, all the time that you're doing this, your soap base will carry on cooling. So that's all combined now, so I'm just going to check the temperature again, and I can see we're at 64. So we're not too far off being able to add our essential oil. You would normally want to add essential oil or any fragrance oil around about 60. Okay, so while I'm just giving it a couple more minutes just for it to cool down, I'm just going to talk to you about the essential oil. I'm using lavender as it's great for hair, it's great for your scalp as it's antimicrobial, and also it can keep your hair shiny as well. Now always make sure that you check the flash point of your essential oils before you add anything in. Flash point in lavender is 70, so if we're adding at 60, that's absolutely fine. You must always add under the flash point. And also, as a rule of thumb, add at around 2%. Some essential oils are highly restricted, and you can sometimes only add at 1% or even less. Some you can go up to 3%, but lavender's one that's not very massively restricted. But I don't like to add much more than about 2%. I find lavender quite strong, so I always find that 2% gives a nice even fragrance. It's not too strong. So I've just done another quick temperature check and I'm at 61, so I think I'm okay to add the essential oil now. So it's really important to be accurate when you're measuring your essential oil. And I'm just going to zoom in here just to show you that the caps of the essential oil bottles always have these little dropper tops on. And that's so that you can control how much you're getting out at the time. So with the essential oil bottles, instead of pouring, you just have to shake so the drops come out. So I'm going to add at 2%, so I had 500 grams of soap base, so I'm looking for 10 grams of essential oil. So that's going to be poured into the base, and then I'm going to give it a really good stir again for at least 20 to 30 seconds, just to make sure that it's fully combined. You don't want any pockets of undiluted fragrance or essential oil in your soap, so you need to make sure you stir it really well once you've added your fragrance. So I think we're ready to pour. So I think I've got enough base here to fill all 6 cavities. So I'm just going to fill each one to the top. Now you'll see that as you're pouring, you start to create some little bubbles and they come to the surface. Don't worry about those, because that's what we're going to use the rubbing alcohol for again, and we're just going to spray those and they should pop. Okay, so I've just got enough for 6. So I'm then going to get the rubbing alcohol, I'm going to spray across the surface of the base, and as you can see, all the bubbles pop. So we need to leave these for around about 45 to 50 minutes for them to be set, and then we can turn them out. So these have been left for about 50 minutes, and they're firm to the touch and they're cold as well, so they're ready to be taken out the mould. So what we do is we just pull the bar away from the mould and they should pop out quite easily. And as you can see, they're a really nice soft lilac colour, and they have a really shiny surface when we've used a silicone mould as well. And this mould I think is great for this kind of bar, as it's really it's a good shape to hold in your hand. Okay, so here are our 6 shampoo bars that we've made, with the shampoo bar base, some shea butter, some magic violet mica powder, and the lavender essential oil. And these are now ready to use.